I've always found the Saturday of Easter weekend to be one of the most intriguing parts of the Easter celebration, at least from the church's perspective. I mean, we had Thursday and the feet washing, and Friday and the crucifixion, and tomorrow is this big party, but what about Saturday? Holy Saturday, it's often referred to. Like what are we supposed to do? You know, we had our morning yesterday, and we know that there's excitement and celebration tomorrow, and we find ourselves kind of in the crux. And I sometimes wonder if the Saturday before Easter might be the most important moment of the whole Christian calendar. I mean, yeah, I know for years I've said and I've preached and you've heard that Easter is the most important thing and Jesus is resurrection, and that gives meaning to everything. And I don't doubt that. I'm not questioning that. But moments like this where our lives and our world seems to be in shambles, and we get together, and we're not even going to really get together tomorrow in person, but we get together on Easter and we celebrate, and Jesus is risen, and hallelujah, and all those things. And yet sometimes it just doesn't really feel like it. I mean, it's like we can see it. We know that it's there. We know where we're going. We know what we're hoping for. But it's always elusive, just kind of out of our grasp. Sometimes, I've talked to my kids a lot about this, when we're going on a vacation or something fun that's coming up. I always tell them, I say, hey, be careful, because they say things like, I can't wait till it gets here. I can't wait till we do this. And I always tell them, you know what? Some of the best parts of that trip or that moment, it's the waiting. It's knowing and anticipating that's going to come. And you get to Thursday or Friday of a week-long vacation, you shrug your shoulders and go, wow, that was fast. But the anticipation and the buildup, that's what's exciting. And I think that's what Saturday of Easter weekend's about. It's about pausing and filling ourselves with all the emotions that the disciples had to be wrestling with. I mean, they didn't know it was going to take 3 days. The gospel accounts make it seem like, there was nobody sitting there waiting like, all right, it's about time you got here. They were surprised. At the end of Luke, disciples are walking away from Jerusalem. Well, we thought he was the real deal, but apparently not. I mean, all those feelings of mixture of let down hope and not being what they thought. And that stuff we can relate to, isn't it? Like that stuff we can go, yeah, I'm all in on Jesus, but why does this have to happen? And why does this have to happen? And why isn't this better? And why doesn't he? These are the same things that the disciples were asking. Holy Saturday is an opportunity to just pause. Hit the pause button. Yeah, I know Easter's coming. It's going to be exciting. And the resurrection changes everything. I get that. But just like everybody who lived at Jesus' time, it doesn't always happen as fast or in the way that we expect it to. And isn't that true of most of our lives? It doesn't happen quite the way we think it's going to happen. And it hardly ever happens when we want it or think it's going to happen. The resurrection was no different. Earlier in Jesus' ministry, he says, hey, look, nobody knows the time Jesus is coming back, when God's going to restore all things and put them back to rights. I don't even know. And so in a lot of ways, we're living in Holy Saturday right now. Don't get me wrong, the resurrection's happened, and that's mind-blowing and super important. But it's not quite fixed yet. And the more we Christians can embrace that as a reality, the more people outside the church, I think, will start paying attention. Oh, so you're not saying that you've got it all figured out. You're not saying that things aren't perfect in your churches. And we look at them with our honest eyes and say, no, it's a mess. But we're hopeful and ambitious that good things are on their way, and Jesus is going to usher them in because of the power of the resurrection.